Namaste children. Today we are going to learn about the classification of resources. And in the previous class we had already studied about the classification of resources on the basis of origin and renewability. Today we are learning about the classification of resources on the basis of ownership. After that we will learn about the classification of resources on the basis of status of development. Let us begin with classification of resources on the basis of ownership. On the basis of ownership, resources can be classified into four categories. They are individual resources, community-owned resources, national resources, and international resources. So let us first learn the difference between individual resources and community-owned resources. As the word indicates, individual resources are owned by individuals or private persons. So the resources owned by such individuals are accessible to them alone who are owning these resources. Okay, so the agricultural fields of the people who are living in the rural area, now the common plots of the people who are living in the urban area, all these are owned by some special individuals and they are accessible to them alone. So that is the speciality of individual resources. The resources which are owned by individuals and which are accessible to them alone are called as what? Individual resources. Whereas community-owned resources are those resources which are owned by the people who are living in that particular community. All the people can access there, or the resources which are lying in this category are accessible to the people of that particular community. Example, the burial grounds or the grazing lands or the public playgrounds or parks, everything, all these common places are accessible to the people who are living in that particular community. So that is a speciality of community-owned resources. Here it is accessible to individuals alone. Here the resources are accessible to all. Now coming to the next category, national resources and international resources. National resources are resources owned by a nation. Resources owned by a nation coming under national resources. Even the private individual resources can be owned by the nation in case of for the betterment of the society or for the developmental program. A nation can claim some of the land areas owned by individuals for making roads or rails and all. So the nation can give compensation to the individual and claim the resources, okay, owned by that particular individual. But in case of, see here, national resources are resources owned by the nation within the land boundary of that particular nation. All the water resources, mineral resources, plants, animals coming within the land boundary of a nation, they are together known as national resources. Okay. And besides this land boundary or resources lying within the land boundary, as South India, you know, South India is a peninsula. Here in the coastal area, from the coastal area, the resources lying within 12 nautical mile. 1 nautical mile is equal to more than 1 kilometer. So 12 nautical mile is equal to 22.2 kilometer. So the resources which are lying within the oceanic area of India from the coastal region covering 12 nautical mile also come under the national resource of India. Okay, hope this is clear. National resources are the resources owned by the nation within the land boundary and also the oceanic resource covering 12 nautical miles. Okay, whereas international resources are those resources which are owned by some of the international institutions. We know some of the international institutions which are familiar for us. United Nations are there, isn't it? Such United Nations or World Trade Organization, these are some of the international institutions, and such institutions are having their ownership over some of the resources and they are coming under international resources. For example, the resources, especially the oceanic resources beyond 200 nautical miles, beyond 12 nautical miles of exclusive economic zone, exclusive economic zone, or in short it is known as EEZ. This exclusive economic zone may be owned by different nations. Okay, and beyond that exclusive economic zone, that is covering this exclusive economic zone, some areas may be coming under this international resources, and that area's resources can be used by a single nation only by getting permission of that particular international institution. So that is a speciality of international institutions or international resources. So international resources are owned by international institutions. A single nation can make use of that resource only by getting the permission of that international institution. Again, I am repeating, the oceanic resources lying beyond 200 nautical miles can be used by any nation by getting the permission of international institutions. Okay, so that is why it is known as international resources. Hope this is clear. So on the basis of ownership, resources can be classified into 4 as individual resources, which are owned by individuals, community owned resources owned by community members, or community, all the community members are available, they can access that resource. Then national resources are resources owned by the nation. International resources are resources owned by international institutions. Okay children, now let us go to the next classification. Classification of resources on the basis of status of development. Children, on the basis of status of development, resources can be classified into 4. They are potential resources, developed resources, stock resources, and reserve resources. Let us learn the difference between potential resources and developed resources. Potential resources are those resources which are found in a region, but they have not been fully utilized because we do not know its quantity and how much quality is there. Okay, and we are not using it at present. So potential resources are resources which are seen in a region but not used at present. We are not using it because there is not much urgency. Okay, the best example for potential resources coming under the solar energy in the western states of Rajasthan and Gujarat. In Rajasthan and Gujarat, we have enormous potential for solar energy, for generating solar energy, but we are not developing that much energy there because of the lack of necessity. Okay, whereas developed resources are those resources which are seen in a region and we are totally calculated its quantity, we know the quality, and we have surveyed all these and we are utilizing it at present. Okay, so these developed resources are also called as actual resources. Okay, the resources which are utilized at present by using the present technology, and we have the knowledge of its quantity and quality. They are known as what? Developed or actual resources. All the mineral resources of our country like iron ore, silver, gold, everything within the boundary of India which is using, that we are using, are coming under developed or actual resources. Here we are not using, but here we are correctly fixed the quantity and using it. Okay. Now the difference between stock resources and reserve resources. Stock resources are those resources which have the potential to meet the needs, but we are not using it. We are not using it because of lack of technology. Okay, here because of the lack of technology we are not using it. Okay, best example for stock resource given here is the case of water resource. You know, water is a mixture of hydrogen and oxygen, and we know that hydrogen can be used as a rich source of energy. But here we are unable to develop hydrogen from water because we are not having the technology to separate hydrogen and oxygen from water. Okay, so till then it is a stock resource. Till we develop the technology to separate this hydrogen from water, it is known as a stock resource. Whereas reserve resources are those resources which are also not using at present. It is not because of lack of technology. Here we are keeping it for the next day or for the next generation. Okay, in the case of reserve resources, we know the technology and we have the ability to use it, but we are not using it at present because it is reserved for the next generation. Example, the river water, water in the rivers of our country, it can be used for generating hydroelectricity, but actually we are utilizing only a part of it. Only a particular part of water resources are used for generating hydroelectricity. Okay, and all the trees in the forest of our country, the water in the water bodies, all these are coming under reserve resources. Here we know the technology but not using it because it is kept for the next generation. Here in the case of stock resources, we do not know the technology. Okay, in the case of potential resources, we know the technology but we do not have the urgency to use it. Is it clear the difference between potential resource, developed resource, stock resource and reserve resource? So all these classifications are made on the basis of status of development. Okay children, with this we have completed the classification of resources. Okay. Children, let us learn about resource development or development of resources. What is meant by development of resources? Development of resources means the use of resources to meet our needs. We should develop the resource to meet our needs. Water can be used to meet our needs by developing it. We can develop the method of hydroelectricity. We can develop the method of irrigation by using water. So this is what is known as resource development or development of resources. Use of resources to meet our requirements or needs. And we already know that resources are vital or important for the existence of human beings, and also it is very important to maintain the quality of human life. But in some situation we are not thinking about the quantity of resource. How much resources are left without thinking that we are utilizing them again and again. And this is what is known as indiscriminate use of resource, because some resources are renewable and we think that they are the free gift of nature. Thinking so, we are utilizing them again and again, and it may lead to so many problems that we will learn. So this indiscriminate use of resources may destroy the quantity of resources available to us. How can we solve this problem? Yes, here we have to develop resource planning programs. So if you are planning the resources in a proper way, or if you are develop some planning strategies to utilize resources in a proper way, it may lead to sustainable development. You all are very familiar with the term sustainable development. We already studied this term in lower classes. Sustainable development means use of resources in a proper way. That is, besides meeting the needs of the present generation, we can meet the needs of the future generation also. How? We are utilizing resources according to the requirement or according to the need only. We are not overutilizing them. So a part of it is kept aside and that can be used by the next generation. So such a type of resource development is known as sustainable development. Is it clear? So what is meant by sustainable development? Use of resources by keeping a part of it to the next generation. And if you are doing so, it may naturally help for the protection of the environment. If you are keeping a part of the present available resources to the future generation, you may be thinking about the nature or environment. You may be thinking about the ecological balance or environmental stability. Okay, so you are not supposed to destroy the available quantity and quality of resources. So such a type of resource development is known as what? Resource development through sustainability or sustainable development. So by sustainable development, we mean development of resources or use of resources without damaging the environment so that besides meeting the needs of the present generation, a part of it can be shared for the or kept for the next generation. So this is known as sustainable development. So this is a very important matter that we human beings should follow now, because we are facing the shortage of some resource at present. Okay, we are facing shortage of some natural resources at present. So by thinking about the quantity, we should develop proper planning strategy so that we can formulate some program to utilize them in a proper way. So besides meeting the needs of human beings at present, we can keep a part of it to the next generation. So we can keep that in our environment. So the environment must be safe or free from pollution. Okay, so these two dual aims are there behind sustainable development: meet the needs of future generation and protect environment. For that, we have to develop proper resource planning program. Okay, here let us begin with the problems that may happen due to the indiscriminate use of resources. If we are utilizing resources again and again, it is known as indiscriminate use of resources. And what are the effects of indiscriminate use of resources? Let us learn about the effects of this indiscriminate use of resources. Okay? Children, now let us learn about the effects of indiscriminate use of resources. Children, human beings are utilizing the resources again and again continuously, or they are over exploiting some of the resources, and this is known as indiscriminate use of resources. What are the effects of indiscriminate use of resources? Let us learn in detail. The first and the foremost effect of indiscriminate use of resource is the depletion of resources. Depletion means completion. Okay, so children, resources are used by some people due to their greedy nature. So due to their greed, they are utilizing the resources continuously again and again. So for the satisfaction of their greed, they are utilizing these resources, and it may lead to the depletion itself, because there is no end for greed. What is the speciality of greed? Unlimited need is known as greed. So they are utilizing the resources completely. Okay, so finally what may lead? It may lead to depletion of resources. So the first effect of indiscriminate use of resources is the depletion of resources because of the greedy nature of some people in society. Okay, now the next one, accumulation of resources in the hands of few. So these greedy people may be the rich people. So these resources and also its richness may be accumulated in the hands of some rich people in the society. So this accumulation of resources in the hands of few people will split the society into two, as haves and have-nots, or rich and poor, and the gap between them may increase. So this may create a social split itself. Because of the greedy nature of the rich people, the resources are accumulated in the hands of rich people, and this may be leading to the division of the society as rich and poor, and haves and have-nots, and their gap may increase. And this is a very serious issue of inequality. Okay, so indiscriminate use of resource may lead to inequality due to the accumulation of resources in the hands of few. And finally, this indiscriminate use of resources may lead to some global environmental problems or ecological problem. So which are the global problems that may be formed due to the indiscriminate use of resources? First of all, global warming. We know reckless cutting of trees may lead to the creation of formation of excess carbon dioxide in society, in the environment or in the atmosphere, and that may lead to global warming. Okay, so continuous overutilization of resource may lead to very serious issue known as global warming, ozone layer depletion. Okay, the depletion of ozone layer that may affect the whole society. Then environmental pollution. Okay, overutilization of resources may lead to the pollution of water, air, soil, land, everything may be polluted, and thus the whole environment may be polluted. So environmental pollution and land degradation, overutilization of land, continuous use of land for cultivation may lead to land degradation. That means the land become unfit for cultivation. So these are the serious global issues that may be resulted due to the indiscriminate use of resources. Okay, children. So in order to overcome all these problems, what should we do? We should think about sustainability and proper resource planning procedures. Okay, so in the next class we will learn in detail about resource planning. Okay, with this we have completed today's session. Okay, now go through the textbook, read it, and we can discuss the details in the live class tomorrow. Okay, children, thank you.